Kev, it was really good to get the win on Tuesday night in front of 6,000 fans at Rootsall. It feels like, what with the announcement that came before that game, the win itself and also the news yesterday about the winding up petition being dismissed, that there's a lot of positivity and it's breathed new life into the club.
Yeah, I think so. I think for everyone, obviously, it was a time of worry, and with everything that was going on, around the club, it was so important to get positive news on on the future and direction we're going to go. And obviously, there's still some hurdles to get through, but things that are being put in place, hopefully, brings a positive future for us all.
Yeah, the positivity is the key word, of course, and you'll be looking to keep that positivity going with a good performance backing up Tuesday night's performance this weekend.
Yeah, listen, we went away from home the previous two games and got 2 points, albeit slightly different ways of doing that, and to back it up Tuesday was important. And it would have been easy to, with all the stuff going on around the club, to forget about the game of football, and that was the most important thing for me, to make sure we performed, and we did that. But we come to another real tough game, and every time we've played Woking, it's been very close both ways, and they'll ask questions of us, and at home they're very, very strong, and Darren's got a great team there that they've had 1 or 2 injuries, but they'll be up and around it towards the end of the season, and one that for sure we've got to be on our game.
Yeah, we played them twice last season at their place, obviously 3 times in total with the FA Cup, but both of them tough games, and whenever you go to Woking, you're facing a side that are looking always to challenge for the playoff places every season now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's credit to the manager, Darren, who's got him in that position, and always competitive, and in the playoffs last year, and I'm sure they'll be looking for that again this year. But I think everyone in the league at the minute, it's probably the end of a run of a lot of games in a short space of time. So I think everyone will be picking the bodies off the floor and getting them ready to play again, and we're the same. So we'll make sure we're ready and go into what will be a very, very tough game.
Yeah, and the situation hasn't changed too much in terms of the players that you've been able to, the squad that is the same essentially, and that's obviously still going to be a bit of an issue, isn't it? I know we're talking about the potential of the embargo being lifted at some point, but as things stand right now, that hasn't quite changed, has it? So you're still going to have to juggle those difficulties.
No, absolutely, and it's still, the squad's what we've got at the minute. Obviously we've got injuries and stuff that we've got to deal with, but at least we've got clarity now going forward what we're doing, and hopefully within a few weeks, as you say, or the start of November, that will be cleared, and we can really get to work. But for the meantime, we've got to try and get their bodies out on the pitch and get a team that's competitive in every game as much as possible.
And how much planning will you and your staff be doing in readiness for when you can bring players in?
Yeah, listen, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, because first and foremost we've got to talk about the players that are in the building and what they've done, and it's been a big ask of them in terms of the amount of minutes, because of the injury time that's added to every game now, that they're playing more minutes than they would have done last year, and without having to change too many players. So the credit has got to go to the players that are here first and foremost, and there'll be a process in place of what I think should happen, and hopefully we'll follow that.
Cheers, thank you.
Talking of players that have been involved, Jack Wood got his reward on Tuesday night. He's someone that's been able to grasp that opportunity that's been handed to him, and there's been work done to develop him. I know he's talking on Tuesday night about the way you've wanted him to play a bit more down the middle.
Yeah, listen, I think his biggest learning will be playing minutes, but we've got to manage that and put him in at the right times, and because sometimes you can hurt a young player's confidence if you play him at the wrong time. So he's one that is taking his chance because of the situation, but he's deserved it as well when he's played. So what I don't want to do is young players get too far ahead and think they build them up too soon, too early. It'll take time, because he'll have plenty of ups and downs as he goes, but as long as he keeps improving and keeps wanting to learn and better himself, then he can certainly add a lot to the squad, and for himself going forward.
Yeah, and Ollie Coker put some wonderful balls into the box as well on Tuesday night. Again, he's someone else that's been in, and with those young players, like you say, you kind of want to be able to drop them in and bring them out at the right times, and that's not always been the easiest case for you in this situation.
No, but I think probably midfield's been an area we've been able to be fairly consistent with. Always coming out has allowed Ollie to go in and play, and all of them in that area have been able to contribute somewhere along the line and play their part. So yeah, Ollie's one of them. You know, and he's done well. Still loads to learn, loads to go, and as I say, I don't want to, you know, build them up to knock them down, and we'll gradually work with them and Woody and all the young ones we've got here, and you know, hopefully build them for the future. But for the lads who've also, you know, playing a lot of minutes as well, I think the credit's got to go to them as well.
Yeah, and I guess Tuesday night kind of have summed up the best parts of the season so far, keeping a clean sheet at the back, having your striker at the front leading the line, scoring goals as he has been all season. That's kind of all you can ask of your players in that case. Yeah,
I think it's, you know, we wanted to get a clean sheet again. We had a lot of them last season. It's something that, you know, your season can be built on. And we spoke about having cards fit is important, and getting good chances for him, not just half chances. It has been important, and you know, goals from midfield is something we spoke about, and I think they've all contributed something this season. So as a rounded team, that's what you want, you know, all areas to be doing well, and we're doing okay at the minute. And considering everything that's gone on, you know, they deserve plenty of credit, the players.
Yeah, and like you say, it is a tough test to go to Woking, always a difficult place to go, but once you've played that game, you are going to have a bit of time to manage that small squad that you've got. Yeah,
I think we'll plan next week. Obviously, we've got Journey back in the next week, which it's something. FA Cup is something we want to do well in, but it's a free week in terms of no game. So yeah, we'll get a chance to hopefully recover and get the balance right between training and recovery, which will help the players, I think.
And how special was that moment at the end of the game on Tuesday? You always go around pat with the fans, but it sort of went on for an extra long time on Tuesday because of the potential of the positive news. So how special is that? Yeah,
I think, you know, we've had a few, especially away from home this year, where the crowd have stayed longer, but I think Tuesday was that bit extra special because I think the outpouring of relief and just the positive news coming, and I think that's everyone at the club and the supporters have been through a lot, deserved that, and I think you could feel it right from everywhere. The weight lifted off everyone's shoulders a bit in terms of, you know, the worry around the place, and you know, people have supported this club for a long time, and it means an awful lot to the people of Southend.
And while it hasn't changed things yet in the terms of the transfer embargo, do you feel that positive, see a bit of a weight lifted off around the training ground this week?
Yeah, no, there is that. Listen, it's still, my focus is on the players here. The agents will be calling me non-stop now, but it's part and parcel which is there. But you know, if we go into the market, it'll be to get the right person and the right player. And you know, I think it's not a case of needing to add loads of players. We've got to look after what's in the building first and foremost, and add to it at the right time, and that's the most important thing.
But the players here this week, they just felt a bit of more of a buzz.
No, listen, they're always good here. You know, you've been around them, and they're always positive and they're always upbeat. They love coming to work, they love coming to train, and you know, when you've got that gives you a chance first and foremost. But obviously the news helps. You know, there's no doubt about that, and I think they see the crowds that we have and what this club can be, you know, when it gets going, and I know as well. So yeah, a lot to look forward to.
Thank you.
How's Nathan Ralph?
Yeah, he's had seen a specialist made about an injection today to hopefully speed things up.
Is that his ankle or shin?
Yeah, it's kind of around the ankle area. So hopefully that will speed things up, but he hasn't been able to train as of yet.
Yeah, and is Colin still a little way off?
Yeah, he's still a few weeks away yet as well. So yeah, they just have to, you know, see how that goes in time.
And with Callum Powell unfortunately being out, is there the freedom now? Can you look at bringing a striker in, or what's
something we're looking at? If it's possible, I think, you know, with the league, we'll have to speak to them about what we can and can't do. Hopefully that's give us a bit more leeway in terms of the petition being paid. So it'll be something we'll look at, and if we can, we'll try and act.
Should be short in that area now, no?
We are. We've, you know, you recognise one's cards and Jack Wood, so you know, it's an obvious area that we may look at.